Hello, I'm back to talk about that spreadsheet. We're gonna now build our company. So this is how you do it. I share the screen here. I believe this is the correct one. Yep, that looks right. Okay, so you go to your Google Drive. So Google Drive is right there. That's this guy. All right. And you're going to go over to the plus sign on Google Drive. Click on Google Sheets. You're going to add a sheet. All right. Then you name your sheet. We're going to call this ABC Company. It's saving. It is now saved. And let's just start putting stuff in there. You can skip that first thing. We're going to put our company truck there. So truck, uh, hand tools, power tools, uh, computer, etc. And so we're going to put valuations. So right now, the truck is worth 15,000 bucks. And I know it's cheap, but that's what it is. 15,000 hand tools. You figure to replace your hand tools, it's going to cost you another $1,200, maybe more, depending on what you do for a living. Power tools is probably three times that, so 3,600, depending on what you do for a living. Computers probably 350, and you'll have a printer, maybe, and that's probably 250. If you're going to put your phone on here, go ahead. And that's a monthly. So um, it also costs you to buy the phone is, I think they're about 500 nowadays. So let's go with that. All right, so that's how much you're going to put in. All right. So we're going to write down at the bottom, you double click and you put in assets. Okay. And we're going to add another sheet. We're going to put in cash flow. Let's just call it cash flow, just for fun. Okay. So you're going to say um, initial cash. This is what you're going to take out of your personal account. You're going to put in here. You're going to put in, let's say, $1,000. So you don't have more than that. That's what you're going to invest in your company is $1,000. All right. You're going to then have, let's see, your startup expenses. So uh, your Secretary of State license, or your corporate corporate license. Depending on your state, I think it's like 280 bucks, I believe, and it's a minus 280 because that's what it costs you. It costs you 280. All right, and you're gonna put in, let's say, what else? Bond license or insurance and bonds. And this one might cost you pretty regular. All right. I think your initial is probably going to be somewhere around. It depends on what the parameter. Let's go see. Let's just say 250. You're going to have to put the right numbers in here. And we'll do the same thing here. Minus another 250. Excuse me. All right. So what else? Um, that would be your initial costs. Okay, so this is your initial cost for the company. All right. Next thing we talked about was, so when I hit the plus to add another sheet, we were going to add, and what else? We talked about tools, equipment, phone, computers. That's that. There, that's good enough for now. So this is your initial startup. So this is a description. This is the transaction amount. If you're adding money, you put it as a positive. If you're subtracting money, you're paying something, you put it as a negative. We're keeping it nice and simple. There are ways to do this balance sheet, but what you're going to end up doing is just handing this off to your accountant and they can work that out. And for now, that's all you have to do. Now, what I like to do is on in your business folder that you create, I like to have a new folder that says receipts. All right. And then when I have a receipt, so I download Drive onto my phone and I can take a photo of the receipt and put it right in here. So because of that, I'm just going to grab a photo for fun. I'm going to upload something right here. Let's see, file upload. That's a silly picture, but let me just grab an odd receipt. It could be anything. So I'm going to use this as an example of a receipt. So, okay, so we're uploading this picture. This is pretend it's a photo of my receipt. Okay. And I'm going to right mouse, come down here. Where is it at? Share. Then I'm going to copy the link. Okay, that's a left click. I'm going to go back here. I'm going to put that, let's say it's the receipt from there. I'm going to right click on that cell. It says insert link. And I can type in receipt. And I'm going to right click. Yeah, right click and hit paste. That's the link. I hit apply, and then it gives you a link. And so as your accountant goes through here, all they really have to do is click on this and they will see their receipts for all of that. And you just keep doing that. And you can do that right from your phone. All the receipts are in one file, the photos are, and that's it. Don't get too excited. Okay, so that gets you started. Now, obviously, you're in a negative. You're going to be in a negative really quick here if you don't get paid. All right. That's not a surprise. That's a pretty low amount of money to be putting into the company. However, it is what it is. You got to capture all your costs. I kind of like putting in my balance on the top line or maybe the top two lines, but I'm going to do it right here. So I'm going to select, I'm going to say current balance. All right. I'm going to hit the equal sign and I'm going to type in sum. Value 1 will be this one. And then I'm going to hit the colon sign and B2, or just B, right? And that takes it all the way down. And I do that. So that's my current balance. All right. I'm going to highlight this for fun so you can fill this in any way you like it. I kind of like a blue with white lettering, I like that to be lower, a little thicker. Sometimes I like it to be centered. It's really up to you. I usually leave a little room for note, maybe I'll put a note right there. And then where we've got this guy, I'm going to change that. I'm going to make that green, or maybe I'm going to make that specifically color. I don't want to confuse everybody. Let's just make it green. Later, I'll show you how to do some fancy stuff, but you don't need to do that right now. Okay. Now we also want to make this a number. And if we go like this and come over here and make that B2 to B, hit enter, you can make this a $sign too. And so now it's all dollars. So everything's reading dollars. All right. And you go on down the line. Hey, Jimmy just gave you a check for building his deck, deposit. So we got deposit. All right. You might want to track who did it. So Jim Deck. Okay. Something like that. All right. You're going to play with this so you can spread this out, make it look nice. And he's going to give you a deposit of $12,000. All right. So now your account's automatically showing. You want to write down, you can put in the receipt, you can put in the bid if you want to do that. So here I might just go in here, back to your business. Let's open up a new folder and create it, and let's talk about jobs, or let's call it projects. Okay, so we created a folder called projects. All right, now we go in here, and I'm just going to write up a real quick one. This is going to be called Jimmy's Deck. All right, it's going to take excavation, import rock, compaction, footings. I think we're going to use piers in this one just for fun. Framing, decking, stairs, handrail, and then maybe some miscellaneous stuff like flashing, hardware, stain. Okay. And let's say you've talked to an excavator, he's going to come in and he's quoting you, it's going to cost $3,000. Okay. The rock is going to cost $360 for delivery. I know that's cheap. Compaction, you're going to rent a compactor for $400 a day. You only need it for 1 day. Footings and piers, each of them is $12. So you're looking at, 6 times 12. What is that? 78, something like that. I could be wrong there. But well, let's do it easy. 6 times 12. Make it easy, 72. All right, framing, you got a quote from your lumberyard for $1,200. The decking was $2,200. Stairs, this is just material costs. And stairs is going to be probably $140. Handrail is $1,600. Flashing is $75. Hardware is $170. Let's just say it's probably more than that. Stain is probably $120, $125. All right, so there's gonna, although that's a quote from, you can even, if you want to make it clear, highlight the box, right mouse, and put a comment in there, or you can insert a note. Let's insert a note. This is uh, Sam's Excavating. And he's all in for that price. Okay, but you still have to supervise it. So it's going to cost, it'll take him a day to do it, and you're going to supervise it. I don't know what your hourly rate is, but you're going to have to determine that. So let's say it's $100 an hour. So you're going to be babysitting them. So there's $800 that it's going to cost you. Import rock that's coming with that. There's no, I like to put zeros in there. The main reason I do that is because I therefore know that I've looked at that box and I've accounted for it. Compaction, you're going to have someone writing that compactor. It's probably going to be you while that's coming in, maybe not. So let's say someone else is going to be there and you're paying your apprentice half your rate. So let's say $400 a day. He's going to be there the whole day. All right. Putting some piers to put those in place. It's going to take the two of you, $1,200 for the day. Framing, it's going to take 2 days for the framing, let's say, so that's 2,400. You see where I'm getting that. So 400 plus 800. So you and your apprentice cost 1,200 a day, for example. Are you charging that? This is 2 days. And one like that, same type of thing. 2 days, stairs, it's going to take just you for a day. I'm just giving some samples. So one day to put up the handrail, 1,200. Flashing is going to be um, 1 second. Flashing will probably take a couple hours. So let's say it's 200. Hardware, you got to go pick it up, or I'd have it delivered. So that stain, it's going to take 4 hours to do it. And let's just say it's going to take both of you 4 hours. So that's going to be $600. All right. Delivery for the lumber. So this would be labor, materials, and subs. Description. And let's see. Um, miscellaneous costs. So you're going to have delivery costs for all this. So let's just put it all at the same time. You're going to deliver it in two different things. So you're going to have to pay $120 for delivery for that. And $120 in delivery for that. Okay. And like I said, you can put a note here, delivery. You don't have to do it that way, but it just makes it easy for you to come back and figure it out. Again, I do the same thing here. Total cost. Hit the equal sign. And then I hit, this is going to be fairly easy, but this is what I'm going to do anyway. So sum B2 to D plus sum C2 to C. I'm doing this for a very specific reason. There are faster ways and better formulas, but this is to teach you from the very beginning. Okay. Dash time D2 to D. Okay, so that's your total cost right now. And we can go like this. We're going to change this to B2 to D and hit enter. And then we're going to do that. This automatically goes to that. So that's how much the project's going to cost right now. That's your estimate. All right. So that's your estimate. You have overhead that you have to do. So now we've got to put in some overhead. So let's say you got to make phone calls, you got to write up your proposals, you got to do all that stuff. So you've got some overhead on this. Plus, you have to pay for your office space. You have to pay for the printer paper, all those things, all your expenses related to your phone, anything that's not going to be specific to that project is considered indirect overhead. Okay. Anything that's specifically to this project that isn't production is considered overhead, but it's direct overhead. And so just so you know the subtle differences. So let's say you've figured out that you have to pay, I'm gonna make it easy, 12,000 a year in all your office expenses, all your overhead, your insurances, all that stuff. You figure all that out and you figured out 12,000 a year. So it's $1,000 a month. Okay. Now you got to come up with this. This project's going to take you a week and a half, 2 weeks to do it. Inside that. So this project, if it's the only project you have, has to give you $500 in overhead, in indirect overhead. So your indirect overhead on this project, I'm going to call it $500. Okay. And we're going to make this all money as well. All right. Your direct overhead is probably only going to be fuel getting there, things like that. So let's just say it's $120. All right. I know it's not accurate. We're going to go into greater detail. I'm just getting this built up so we can go over the other thing. All right. And so then you're going to have to decide. Let's call this subtotal because I want to call the next one total. All right. So total uh, pre-profit cost, which essentially I like to do double underline, but single's fine. So we're going to sum this up, equals sum of this. All right, so that would be your project. Then you want a profit based on that number. Actually, I think I'm going to do this. I'm going to do something a little different here. I'm going to put profit right here, and I'll show you. I want to make it easy. So it's going to be equal the sum of this. So click on that. You can hold down the shift key and then click on that, close it up. That gives you the full sum. All right. I like to come back over here and put this in. And then let's call it, I don't know, let's call it 20%. I know that's probably not realistic, but 20%. All right. So there's your, I'm going to take this line out of here. So we get back to nothing there. Boom. So there we got profit. Now we're going to say total. Total pre-tax. So, okay. Sales tax. I don't know what it is in your state, but it's equal to, and it's by location in our state. So it could be your local city taxes included with the state tax. So it's a little different for every city. So I'm going to say in our state, it's 10.5%. 10.5%. And then you want to write in total bid price. Okay, and I like to put a line under this one too. Equals this plus this if you want. That's nice and simple. And then that's the price. So that's the money price. All right, let's do the same thing here. Thicken it up. I know it's too light. Let's go like that. All right, so that's the money price that you're doing. And we can round it up if you want. Let's just go with that. So we want a deposit, 50% deposit, okay? So it's going to equal this times 50%. So that's the amount he's going to give you. So there we go. I'm going to come back over here. I can copy that, copy, come over here. Jim's deposit is going to be paste. Oops, what did that? I didn't copy that. Why is it copy? Space special value. All right, there it is. Okay, so you get a deposit. Now it's up there. Okay, now you could keep doing it. I like to track all the costs for the project. So what I'll do is I don't generally do it on this spreadsheet, but for the very beginning, until you get some projects built up, this is how we're just going to show you how to do it nice and easy just to get started. All right. So, and then I'll pull it out and I'll show you how easy it is to extract it out and have it per project and be able to track each project. But here's how we're doing it for now. So this is going to be Jimmy's project. Okay, so now we're tracking. And so we're going to say lumber yard. Now we always like to have, if you will, we want to have a column to the left. We want to have the date that this description occurs. So we're going to pull that back and pull it up just a little bit. So once again, we're doing A2 to A, hit the enter. We're going to go up here. We're going to make this a date. So it can only be a date, make it easy for us. So we hit data validation, come in here, add a rule, come at the drop down, is a valid date, and save it. And so what that allows us to do is that allows us to put in double click. Okay, nice and easy. Double click, the calendar comes up. Double click, calendar comes up. All right. Actually, the deposit for that, we're going to say came in on the 10th. We got ahead of it before licenses and everything else showed up, but that's okay. Jimmy's my buddy, right? And so we started working on the 11th. The delivery came on the 11th. And what did we say the cost of lumber for the framing? 1,200. They brought the footing, or they brought the piers in as well. So that's 1,272. And let's call it 1,272. Let's just say they brought 1,272. Okay, that's how much lumber they brought. 1,272. And it's minus because we had to pay them. All right. And again, Jimmy's project. So all I did was click on it. I grabbed it with my little plus sign and pulled it down. All right. Now, the nice thing about it is if I add something else that's not related to Jimmy's project, let's see that one. Let's say Sam's electrical. you got called out and you did 2 hours worth of work at Sam's Electrical. So let's say 200 plus the call out. Let's make it your 400. Let's call it, that's how much they paid you for that. You type Sam's Electrical. I'm being very simple here, okay? Same situation. You had to go buy stuff for Sam's Electrical, and you bought $120 worth of junk for Sam. Okay. And then on the 14th, you got excavation company came out. What was his price on that? Excavation was $3,000. He did all the work in a day. Pretty amazing. Okay, so I want to show you there's a couple ways to handle this. Actually, I don't want to do this. I'm going to put it on the 13th. No, I want to put that on the 12th because I want to show you different ways of handling this. All right. So let's say you want to figure out, okay, so we can see, we just want to see what gyms, only the gyms cost. So we hit that, we go up to data, we want to filter by range, create a filter. All right. And that filter is going to be only gym. Okay. And there should be something else here. So all gyms projects, close this. So this is all gym stuff right now. Right now we're at 9,000 ahead. Okay, we still have a lot to do, but that's how much Jim's project is. So clear the filter. Oops, go in here, clear that filter, cancel. Don't want to clear it. Hit OK, and it's back to normal. Let's say we want to we want to get this in chronological order. All right. So instead of this, we're going to do sort sheet from A to Z. I don't usually like that, mainly because of that. So let's undo that. Let's do from A2 to E1000. Hit that. So that's showing all that stuff. And then we're going to sort the data. So we're sorting range A, and we're going to go by date because we want it in date. All right. See how that brings it all up? It doesn't affect any of the dollar amounts up here, and everything's in chronological order. All right. So that's how we're going to get started. Let's take a break and we'll continue on with this in the next one.